G'day, it's Rob here again. Well, recently I've been doing a bit of knurling, trying to do some knurling, and it was interesting. It got me thinking. I mean, some of the things you take for granted, some of the things that people don't know about and probably want to know about. And I had a look on the internet just out of curiosity to see if there were any videos on how to change the knurling wheels on knurls. And there's nothing. I couldn't find anything. So just for the newbies, I'll show you how you can change the knurls on this type of scissor knurl. And I think you'll find that most knurls, knurling units that you buy these days, whether they're scissor type or they're just the push type with a swivel heads or whatever, they all use a similar mounting system for the knurl wheels. So let's get on with it. This is a HBM scissor knurl, and yeah, it's a good quality knurl. Bought from RDG Tools in the UK. And in the box, you'll see there's some other knurl wheels. I've actually got 3 sets of knurl wheels, one in the unit and the 2 others here I bought. And then I've got a spare one I picked up from somewhere that it fits. I think it fits. And that never gets used. And there's also a nut. A nut. Why is there a nut? Well, the nut's there for a good reason. And nut doesn't come with the kit. This is something that you use to change the wheels out, swap them over. And you look at this and you think, well, how do those wheels stay in there? You know, well, generally they're fastened in 2 ways. The pin, the pin that they rotate on, usually has splines on one end. So they basically, before they harden these pins, they actually do a straight knurl on one end of them, so that when you knock them in, they just knock in and out, and they bite into the frame, you see. The other method you see occasionally is that they will use circlips, the expanding circlips, and there's another way of doing it. They just have one of those on each end. Of course, the name of the game is to keep your clearances as close as possible. Don't want any. I mean, homemade ones quite often will have a bolt with a big head stuck on there. If you're coming up close to the chuck, anything like that's going to be a nuisance. So you want everything pretty flush if you can do it. There's a number of ways you could do it. But anyway, this is what you generally get when you buy them. So, how do you swap out the knurl wheels? Because having other patterns is a good thing. You can have a straight pattern like that, or you can have a fine pattern like that, or you can have a coarse pattern like that. Now, in that last job, I was going to use the coarse pattern because I was too slack to change the wheels out, and then I thought, oh, fine, it'd be better. I'm going to have another go at that. So I thought, well, okay, I'll show you how to do this, and it's very simple, very easy. So let's get on with it. And to do that, we need a pin punch of the right size, and we need a nut. Why do we need a nut? Well, the nut is to give the pin some clearance when you knock it out. So as we're knocking it out from this side, the nut will go under the head there, and then when you punch down, it'll punch through and have clearance to get into. You do the whole job on the vise, something solid, and that's all there is to it. Punch them out, and I always do one at a time. That way you can always remember which way to put it back. Although once it's out, you'll see in the cavity the spline marks, so it's pretty obvious. But I always do the one swap it over, and that way you don't lose track of which side the splines should be on. So let's do it. So we put the nut there, we put the spline side down, and if you look closely you can just see the edge of the splines, but that's, as I said, that'll be raised up slightly. Centre it on there, and then punch it out. Comes out that easy. So you can see it's dropped into the cavity. So that's why you use the nut. You can use the jaws on the vise, have them slightly open, but it means that the pin is going to then drop down and probably go on the floor. Doing it this way, yeah, it all stays there and it's straightforward. So we take the nut away for the moment, we don't need that. And it's a matter of get out your replacement wheels. Now these come in various sizes, diameters, so make sure you get the right one. Take a wheel out first and measure it, get the dimensions if you're going to buy some. The ones you buy off of eBay or whatever are going to be just generic things, so you might even have to just slightly machine out the hole to get it to fit the pin, you don't know. Once again, that's where those little micro boring bars are good for jobs like this, you know. You can't do it otherwise. I mean, a drill, this is hard stuff, you might find it pretty tough going, whereas a little tungsten carbide micro boring bar will do that easily. So yeah, so we'll take out the one wheel. Now, you can see this one's got a washer, because even though these wheels, doesn't matter which way you put them in, I mean, they've got a left and a right hand pattern, but you can put them in top, bottom, either way around it, it'll make no difference when you work it out physically and geometrically. It won't affect the whole the knurling process. It's impossible to actually put them in wrong. You can just whack them straight in any old way and the end result will always be the same. Now when you do knurling, if it's not feed knurling, you want to make sure you've got washers in there to take any slop out the side to side, otherwise the pattern could drift around, could change. But when you feed knurling, it'll always push against one of the arms on the unit, so you won't get any variation in the knurl pattern. But yeah, straight knurling, where you're not actually moving the knurl side to side, make sure you shim out any movement, otherwise the pattern could wander as the wheels float around. So yeah, washers are good. So put it in the new wheel. We know we're going to knock the pin in from this side. Put her in. Here we go for fit. Yeah, it's not too bad. So these are all slightly different, these knurls, when you buy them. And just feed her in. And just put it on the edge. That's it. Job done. Now we'll do the other one. Get the nut back. So the nut is a good trick, you know. Saves you chasing around on the floor for the pin. They come out very easily, as you see. Once again, drop it in from the right side. Oh, you can see on here, they're the splines. You see what they've done? Yeah, we're right into winter now, so we're getting a bit of rain. Oh well, too bad. And then just, that's it. It's all done. Now before you use it, make sure you give it a dose of oil, and you know, good and thoroughly. And then of course when you use the knurl, you always lubricate the job. And yeah, simple as that. So in case you didn't know, that's how it's done. Alright, that's it from me. See you next time. Cheers.